Whenever we talk about classic Naruto, it always comes back to the exact same joke. The famous talk no jutsu. We've all seen the memes of Naruto beating villains with a heavy therapy session right in the middle of a fist fight. He's always pulling the bad guy back to the light just because he understands their pain. But honestly, I was thinking about something really crazy the other day. What if Naruto was emotionally bulletproof? What if he just straight up didn't care about absolutely anything or anyone? Just a kid who doesn't want to be Hokage, doesn't need the village's approval, and just wants to collect his mission paycheck so he can go home and sleep. Before we dive into how insane this timeline gets, take a quick second to like the video and subscribe to your Dadzy. It helps out a ton. The result of this isn't just a darker anime. It's actually proof that a world without Naruto's empathy would be the most cruel and dystopian universe in all of anime. And I'm going to show you, step by step, exactly how this would completely destroy the story as we know it. It starts right back at the Ninja Academy. Everyone is treating this kid like total garbage, like some kind of monster. Now, in the original story, he yelled, defaced the Hokage monument, and just desperately wanted attention. But this apathetic Naruto, he couldn't care less about the entire village. The other kids make fun of him at school, and he just stares blankly at them. To him, they're all just a bunch of overly emotional crybabies making drama over nothing. And here's the thing, this completely changes the way he fights. You know the Naruto who used to scream and just rush in without thinking? Forget that guy. Since he has zero emotional baggage weighing him down, he fights with a coldness that is honestly terrifying. He just looks at his opponent, finds their weak spot, lands a solid punch to the ribs that knocks the wind out of them, and that's it. It's over. Pure efficiency. He's not trying to prove he's strong. He just wants to finish the fight and move on. When Kakashi finally puts Team 7 together, the vibe is just incredibly awkward. You've got Sasuke in his whole edgy, dark Avenger phase. You've got Sakura, who basically only exists to obsess over Sasuke. And then there's Naruto, just looking at the two of them and thinking they're both completely pathetic. Kakashi even tries to pull him aside for a chat, figuring Naruto is just repressing some deep pain. But Naruto gives it to him straight right out of the gate. He's like, there is nothing wrong with me, man. I just really don't care about you guys. I do my job, I collect my paycheck, and I'm out. And seriously, the Land of Waves mission is where we truly see what kind of monster he's become. Remember that classic scene where little Inari is crying over Kaiza? Naruto just turns to the kid and drops a flat-out, nobody cares. The world doesn't revolve around you. Stop crying and go play. Sakura nearly has a heart attack hearing this, but he doesn't give a single damn. He makes it crystal clear that he is a mercenary, not a babysitter. And then, during the fight against Haku starts telling that tragic backstory of his. Naruto just cuts him off and says, look, I was only buying time, I really don't care about your story. And then he just steps back and lets Kakashi run his Chidori straight through the kid's heart. Absolutely ice cold. But the absolute peak of this mission is with Gato. Gato takes Inari's mom hostage to blackmail the team. Naruto just does a quick calculation in his head. If he backs down, Gato leaves. The bridge never gets built and the entire village suffers. If he attacks, the hostage dies, but Gato dies with them and the rest of the village gets its freedom. He doesn't even think twice. He charges in, sacrifices the hostage, and absolutely shreds Gato and his thugs using an army of shadow clones. Tazuna actually tries to beat the hell out of Naruto afterward, sobbing over his dead daughter. And Naruto? He just wipes the blood off his face and says, I did my job, now pay me. Let's be real, the kid basically turned into a ninja John Wick. Then we hit the Chunin exams, and this is where the timeline goes completely off the rails. The Forest of Death is an absolute mess. Naruto stops for a quick bathroom break, and when he gets back, Sasuke and Sakura are just gone. They basically abandon him the second things got tense. Normally, anyone would be pretty hurt by this and try to track down their friends, but not this Naruto. He just gets annoyed by how stupid they are, mutters whatever and goes hunting for another team's scroll. He steals a scroll all by himself and passes the exam completely solo. Later, when Kakashi tries to give him that classic lecture about how those who abandon their friends are worse than scum, Naruto throws it right back in his face. He says, "Go tell that to your favorite pets. They ditched me while I was taking a leak. I just completed the mission." And because he's operating with this kind of ruthless efficiency, do you know who suddenly takes a massive interest in him? Yep, the old fox of Konoha himself, Danzo Shimura. While Kakashi is busy playing favorites with Sasuke, Danzo basically adopts Naruto into the foundation. And this is where the story turns into The Godfather. Danzo doesn't try to manipulate Naruto with cheap lies. He actually tells him the real truth. He outright tells him that Minato was his father and that the third Hokage covered it up just to maintain his own grip on power. Naruto instantly grasps the politics of the situation. From there, Danzo teaches him a pretty dark philosophy. He tells him that every human being is a slave to something, and that true freedom is learning how to manipulate those desires so you can always have the upper hand. Naruto fully realizes that Danzo is basically buying his loyalty with money, luxury, and special privileges in the root. But he accepts it anyway, because that's exactly what he wanted in the first place. A comfortable, drama-free life. He becomes Danzo's right-hand man, partners up with Sai, and strictly focuses on mastering his own raw power. During the Sand Village invasion, Naruto absolutely crushes Gaara using pure logic. He literally superheats Shukaku's sand using the Nine-Tails chakra until the sand melts and turns into solid glass. Then, he just walks right up to Gaara and cuts his head off without even blinking. Threat neutralized. But then we get the most brutal butterfly effect in this entire timeline. Sasuke still decides to defect from the village. Sakura comes crying to Naruto, begging him to go after him. But Naruto just gives her a reality check. He says the guy left because he wanted to leave. There are rogue ninjas everywhere. What makes him so special? If he goes and gets himself killed by Orochimaru, that's his problem. He turns his back on her, leaving Sakura completely desperate. She actually tries to organize a team to go after Sasuke herself, and the result is a total disaster. Shikamaru dies, Choji dies, Kiba dies, and Sakura ends up getting impaled by Kimimaro. Yeah, you heard that right. Sakura dies in part 1. All the blame falls squarely on Kakashi's leadership. It breaks him emotionally, triggering all his old trauma about Ring. And just like that, Team 7 is completely done. Over the next few years, Naruto officially takes over as the head of the root. He trains like an absolute madman. He discovers his affinity for wind style, learns a ridiculous amount of jutsu, and becomes an absolute monster with a blade. And when they finally track down Orochimaru's hideout, there is zero nostalgia in the reunion. They storm the place and just start wiping everyone out. Naruto finds Sasuke sleeping and doesn't even hesitate. He instantly tries to plunge a sword straight through his chest. But Sasuke wakes up at the last second and a brutal fight breaks out. The thing is, Sasuke is just way too overpowered at this point. He takes Sai out in the blink of an eye. Then Sasuke literally rips Naruto's arm off, stabs him through the chest with his sword, leaves him there to bleed out, and just walks away. It's a total massacre. But you have to remember, Naruto is still the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. His healing factor manages to keep him barely alive in the rubble for days, until the ANBU finally find him. And this is where things get completely broken. Danzo takes Naruto back to the lab and attaches a new arm made entirely of Hashirama cells. Just picture that for a second. Naruto, with the Nine-Tails chakra, now casually dropping wood-style attacks like Yamato, except on a much more massive scale. Getting humiliated by Sasuke forces him to swallow his pride and train twice as hard as before. And we really see the payoff of that training during the Pain arc. When Pain attacks Konoha, there's no dramatic speech about the cycle of hatred. Naruto just tags in with Kakashi and immediately jumps straight at the Diva path. Pain just can't handle the sheer brutal pressure of Naruto's wood style, constantly overpowering his attacks. Together, they completely wipe the floor with Pain. They track down and kill Nagato in his paper tree, and then Danzo swoops in to steal the Rinnegan for the Root's private vault. Simple, dry, and to the point. Danzo's reputation skyrockets, and he officially becomes the 6th Hokage. Which brings us to the 5 Kage Summit. Danzo takes Naruto along as his personal bodyguard. When Ao, from the Hidden Mist, exposes Danzo's stolen arm, things get incredibly tense. But Naruto steps right up to the table and delivers the most legendary verbal beatdown in anime history to all the Kage. He points a finger straight at the Raikage's face, reminding him that the Cloud Village tried to kidnap Hinata not once but twice. He yells at the Kazekage about how the Sand Village murdered Hiruzen. He completely humiliates the Mist Village, calling them all massive hypocrites. He basically says, "You're all a bunch of incompetent fools. We are the only village that actually handles our business, and honestly, Konoha could easily wipe out all four of you combined." The silence in that room is absolutely deafening. And right on cue, almost like it was meant to prove his point, Sasuke crashes the summit. Naruto steps down to deal with him personally. There's no comeback to the village, Sasuke's speech here. Sasuke activates his Susanoo and Naruto immediately summons a massive wood golem. He just physically batters the Susanoo into pieces, sends in an army of clones to swarm Sasuke, and brutally kills him right there on the cold floor for everyone to see. His trophy, Sasuke's Sharingan. He casually rips the eyes right out of his former friend's head and has them implanted into himself. What happens next borders on just being ridiculously overpowered. Sasuke's chakra mixes with the Hashirama cells already inside Naruto's body. A few weeks later, boom, the Sharingan evolves straight into a Rinnegan complete with the Tomoe. The kid has officially become a living god walking the earth. By the time the Ninja War hits, he is Kabuto's absolute worst nightmare. You know the reanimation jutsu? Naruto literally just uses his Rinnegan to yank the souls straight out of the zombies and cancel the jutsu. There isn't even a real fight. He and Kakashi easily corner and crush Obito using Kamui, and when the war ends, Konoha doesn't play nice and share the tailed beasts. Danzo takes all the tailed beasts back to the Leaf, and Konoha basically becomes a global empire. They completely monopolize the military power of the entire planet. Years later, Danzo eventually dies of old age, and guess who takes the throne to rule from the shadows? Naruto. And he maintains exactly the status quo that Danzo taught him. He does achieve world peace, but strictly through absolute control. It's not peace because people love each other. It's peace because Naruto dictates exactly when and where small proxy wars will happen, just to keep the village economies running and the ninja populated and busy. They become the very gears of the system itself. He alone decides who lives, who dies, and who gets paid. All of it operating under the coldest, most calculating armored beast you could imagine. Honestly, it's pretty crazy when you stop and think about it. Kishimoto built a world so rotten and heavily militarized that the only thing stopping the whole universe from turning into a complete dystopian nightmare was Naruto's annoying optimism. Take away his protagonist's speeches, take away his forgiveness, take away his empathy, and Naruto wouldn't just be some cool anti-hero. He would be the worst dictator the ninja world has ever seen. His heart literally saved that entire universe. Seeing how he would act as a ruthless killing machine proves that his talk no jutsu was never a flaw in the writing. It was, realistically, the only way out that actually made sense. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts on this dark timeline. And hey, while you're down there, YouTube tells me that over 96% of you watching right now aren't actually subscribed. If you enjoy deep dives into anime theories like this one, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.